To build anything that truly lasts, it takes time.
Let's get started with global market update then. And Kanishka, let's start off with the US market update first. That's right. Ashesha, a very good morning to you first of all. And a very interesting trend has emerged from the US markets. Now, investors kicked off the second half of this year with a very noticeable shift in sentiment this time. They have stepped back from the tech sector. Now, while the blue chip Dow that surged over 400 points, the S&P 500 that dipped about 0.1% in yesterday's trading session, whereas the NASDAQ composite that slid 0.8%, weighed down by a sell-off in the high-flying tech names that powered the market's second quarter rebound until June. Now, leading this decline was the information technology sector of the S&P 500, which is home to names like Nvidia, Palantir, and Advanced Micro Devices, which dropped more than 1% in yesterday's trading session. It was followed by the communications sector. Now, in contrast, investors did rotate into more defensive plays, with healthcare and material stocks gaining traction. Big names like Amgen, Johnson & Johnson, and United Health, they gave the Dow a very solid lift. Meanwhile, in the US, President Donald Trump's tax and spending bill that narrowly passed the Senate on Tuesday, the measure now heads back to the House, where some GOP lawmakers remain skeptical. Traders are also eyeing very closely the trade developments as the Trump's 90-day tariff. But Ashesha, now moving on, how are things looking on the crude front?
Absolutely, Brent crude has snapped its two-day losing streak. It is starting off with a positive bias, up nearly 0.1% as we speak. It is trading near that 67 point.
Week. Other than that, on the economic front, attention is now turning to ADP private payrolls report that is going to come out later in the day, with economists expecting a jump of 120,000 new jobs in June. But the real spotlight lands on Thursday with the official jobs report, the marquee data release in this holiday-shortened trading week. But Ashesha, now moving on, how are things looking on the crude front?
Absolutely, Brent crude has snapped its two-day losing streak. It is starting off with a positive bias, up nearly 0.1% as we speak. It is trading near that $67.2 per barrel mark, but all eyes will be on July 6th. That's when OPEC Plus will be meeting to consider next output hike, and delegates are suggesting that perhaps OPEC Plus could be considering another output hike of 411,000 barrels per day. So any kind of update that we get from OPEC Plus over the weekend will be crucial with respect to how the demand supply dynamics will shape up for the oil market going forward. But remember, Kanishka, tensions in Middle East continue to resurface yet again, with agencies reporting that Trump is set to, or rather Iran is set to be cutting off communication with key United States officials. So some important update with respect to the nuclear program, and any kind of geopolitical tensions which continue to resurface will again have an impact on the oil market. But apart from that, let's also talk about the yellow metal. It is trading flat with a little bit of negative bias today morning, near that $3,330 per ounce. Remember, it has risen nearly 2% over the last two trading sessions. And as you mentioned, Trump tax bill has already passed in the Senate. It requires upper house's approval, and if that comes through, then it will be a positive for the yellow metal market. So that's how the gold and oil markets are shaping up this morning. Kanishka.
That's right, Ashesha.